Hello there guys, welcome back to Younes Talks Football, welcome back to a brand new video. I hope all of you are doing well today. It's been a horrific week, right? It's been a horrific week for Chelsea Football Club. Losing 1-0 to Arsenal, losing 1-0 to Leicester in the FA Cup final. The women's team getting pasted 4-0 in the Champions League final yesterday. I've done a watch along for that, so if you haven't watched it, you can catch my reactions there. I'll leave a little link right here. But that just went from 30 seconds into the game, that went wrong, right? And there was just no way back for Chelsea. Everything's gone wrong. And we look to this game tomorrow, and it has to go right. It's the one game that just has to go right. There's no option. This is as serious as it gets. And I hope the players understand that. I mean, I'd like to think surely they do. They're not stupid. You know, and as I've mentioned in my last two videos, they are talented footballers. You know, they've got qualities. But the one worry that we all have, and that I have, is do they have that mental capacity to claw out a result when they have to, and it's looking unlikely? Because right now it's looking unlikely. It doesn't look like that's the case. It doesn't look like we have that killer instinct and that mentality to claw ourselves out of a situation. It's almost like we need to go 1-0 up. And if we don't, we're in trouble. And I'd like to think that tomorrow, where Leicester are in a similar situation to us, tomorrow is another final. Let's have it right. Whoever loses have had their top four and Champions League hopes dented severely. You know, it's at that point, if you crash a car, for example, and you can't quite make sure, you're unsure if the damage is a write-off or if there's a chance of a repair. You know, that is what the team's going to be feeling that loses tomorrow, if they do lose. And a draw wouldn't sort us out. It would sort Leicester out a little bit more, but it wouldn't sort us out, that's for sure. So we can't even afford a draw. We need to win. I don't care how, I don't care in what manner, I don't care how it's done. At the end of 90 minutes, I want 3 points. It's as simple as that. And we need big game players to show up tomorrow. We looked at the cup final. We all had the same thing on our minds after that game was said and done. Not just me, I've seen others talk about it. I've even seen Thomas Tuchel mention it in his press conference. But all the other YouTubers that talk about Chelsea, George, Jan, everyone has mentioned mentality. Mentality. And when I heard Tuchel talk about it in the press conference and the interviews after the game and earlier on, I wasn't surprised. Mentality is going to be key tomorrow. It's going to be the number one asset that gets us 3 points. We didn't have it against Liverpool. Flipping out. We didn't have it against Leicester in the cup final. Tomorrow is a chance for the players to show us that they have it. And that the cup final was just maybe a bit of inexperience kicking in. Maybe just, allowing themselves to get caught up on the occasion. Maybe the stage was a bit too big for them on the day. I'd like to think that's the case. And when it really matters and they want to claw something out, they will do it. The attitude that we saw in the cup final just wasn't good enough up until the last 5 minutes. It was like it only took up until minute 85 that the players realised, oh, we're playing a cup final. Before that, it felt like we were playing, a league game in December. Where if you lose, it's not the end of the world. That's what it felt like. Up until minute 85, that's where it actually looked like we showed a little bit of urgency. And then we had the offside goal and that just killed our hopes completely. From minute 1 to minute 90 tomorrow, we need to have warriors on the pitch tomorrow. Proper men showing up to get a result and to not allow Leicester to even leave with a goal, let alone a point from Stamford Bridge tomorrow. That's the attitude that's needed. I'm not saying it's a bad thing if Leicester score, because as long as we win, I'm not bothered. And it's football, it happens. But this is the situation we've put ourselves in. This is what we've allowed in that loss to Arsenal. This is what we're in now. Liverpool got a last minute, let alone last second goal by Alisson of all players, Alisson, their goalkeeper. I mean, when does that ever happen? It just goes to show you, sometimes things are not going to go your way. Regardless of how much you want, it's just not going to go your way. But you have control of your own destiny. Like right now, Chelsea have control of their own destiny. We need to get 3 points tomorrow. Now, the worry that I have is the team selection. Because there are question marks on some of the lads now. You know, we can't take risks now in terms of trying out players. Like, nah. We need to go with what we think our best team is. Simple as that. There's no sympathy now. We've got 3 games to save the season. We've got tomorrow. We've got, based on tomorrow, with Aston Villa. Because, you know, if we were to win, then Aston Villa gets a little bit easier. And hopefully we can go and get 3 points. If we lose, Aston Villa becomes the biggest league game for Chelsea, I think, in years. You know, and that could be out of our hands. Liverpool could be ahead of us. This is how tight it is now. And then after that, we have the Champions League final. The Champions League final where we're able to right a wrong. We're able to correct the situation, hopefully win the Champions League and forget about the FA Cup final. This is where you need your strongest players. So in terms of the team selection, I've made a couple of changes. And I'll explain as we go along, but I think it's necessary. And for me, it's based more on mentality rather than ability. And that's where I think we are going to take advantage. Hopefully, if players show that mentality. Let's get into the starting 11. Quickly before I do in terms of team news, it seems like everyone is fit. There's no injuries. It seems like everyone's cool. Kovacic is back. Seems like Christensen's back as well. But I'm not sure if he's actually ready to play 90. I don't think he is. So Kovacic seems like the man to go to. But in terms of the team selection, let's get into it. This is a starting 11. So, in goal, I think it's only right that we say, Kepa, thank you for your contributions this season, but we need to go to our number 1 now. Simple as that. For the next 3 games, Mendy starts. That's tomorrow, that's Aston Villa, and that's the Champions League. Mendy starts. Number 1 keeper, simple as that. Now, obviously, there are some concerns in regards to the FA Cup final. I understood the selection process. I got it. And I didn't see much fury beforehand. You know, there was a couple of people doubting, but there wasn't an outrage. Only after the game where Kepa conceded the goal that was from 30 yards out into the top corner, all of a sudden everyone's got a problem with Kepa starting in goal. Again, you got to look at it from Thomas Tuchel's point of view. Yes, should he have started Mendy? Yeah, probably, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Get FA Cup final, you know, you go to your number 1 goalkeeper. But I understood why. Considering that he had the whole FA Cup run, he gets the final because he got us there. I get it. Especially that semi-final against Man City where he played really, really well, Kepa. So I get it. But Mendy, for me, next 3 games, he starts. We go into the back 3. And I think this is just our best back 3. It's as simple as that. And I don't want Reece James at right centre-back, like we had against Leicester. I'd have Aspi back there. I understood why Reece James was there, to try and keep up with Jamie Vardy, because I think Vardy would have ran Azpilicueta riot. But what that done is take away our outlet at right wing back, where we're able to get someone forward and to cross the balls in as good as Reece James can and to offer a little bit more of an attacking sense. We didn't have that with Aspi at right wing back. But Reece James was good at right centre back. For me, I'd switch them. I would put Aspi at right centre-back, Thiago Silva as the main man in the middle, without question, and Rudiger at left centre-back. I think against Leicester, they didn't really do anything wrong, the back 3. Reece James, Thiago Silva, and Rudiger. They were great. To be fair to them, they didn't actually let anything through, really. You know, the goal came from midfield, where Telemans had all the space in the world to shoot, and the defender's like, yo, hang on, how the hell has he got it in the first place? We lost the ball, the Reece James pass, there was the whole thing about the handball, it is what it is, but then we lose possession, Telemans runs with the ball, has all the space in the world, where's the midfield? Where's Jorginho? Where's Kante? That's the question that I've got asked for that goal. But the back 3 were fine. So for me, I wouldn't change much there, except for Aspi going back to right centre-back. We go into the wing-backs, and for me, Chilwell needs to start at left wing-back. He came on against Leicester, and he looked brilliant. Now, should he have started that? After the game, just like Kepa, after the game, we look at it and go, yeah, but there was no way of knowing that before. Especially, again, when you look at Alonso and his performance against Man City, for example, where he came on and scored. You know? We're inconsistent. We are too inconsistent with performances. We don't have stability in terms of performances. There's players that have good games, bad games, good games, bad games, good games, bad games. No one's just good game. You know? And I think based on the last one and the contribution that Chilwell made, and he scored and it was offside, then Chilwell starts this one. And for me, he starts the remaining games of the season. He starts tomorrow, starts Aston Villa, and starts the Champions League final. At right wing back, I go to Reece James as well. Reece James switching with Azpilicueta for this one. He goes back to right wing back, and I'm hoping he provides that attacking threat, that ability to bomb down the right hand side, link up, cross the ball in. Don't really go backwards a lot. Don't. We got to score. We got to attack. So Reece James to hopefully ping in some good balls and to provide some good link up for our midfielders and our front men. Now in the double pivot, I've made a change. And I feel like I've had to. I feel like I've had to for this one because the stakes are just too high. I start with N'Golo Kante because he's important to the team. He's world class. He knows what it means to play these sort of big games. He's done it before. Alongside him, I go with Kovacic. Jorginho for me is dropped. Now, I don't doubt Jorginho's ability. I think as a baller, he's great. I think with the way that we play, passing out of the back, he's such a fundamental part of that. But with the way that he's played over the last 2 games, with him there, even so, he's good at, getting the link up going at the back in order to start our patterns of play to move the ball forward. His mentality's just been completely all over the place the last 2 games. The Arsenal game, he made the mistake for the pass. Head's gone. Last game against Leicester in the cup final, his head was gone. For me, that can't continue. That just can't continue. And as good as I think he is of a footballer, I need strong men on the pitch now. I need strong mentalities. And Kovacic comes back for this one. Simple as that. Kovacic, Kante. I think we might have an issue of playing out of the back in terms of fluidity, in terms of speed. But I would happily sacrifice that little bit of speed to have someone that I think is going to be strong up here. Right now. It's as simple as that. And that's the sacrifice that I would make. I don't know how Thomas Tuchel's going to look at it. We'll see. But for me, that is the best way to go about it. And hopefully we get a little bit of a difference in midfield. Unlike the game in the cup final where Telemans and Didi had a very, very, very good game. Very good game. And then Maddison came on and just ran riot. So that would be my double pivot. In the 210s behind the striker, I've made one change there as well. I would go with Mason Mount and I would go with Christian Pulisic. Those would be my 2. I just think that's our best 2. Pulisic's impact that we've seen has been very good. And that can't go unnoticed. For me, in terms of consistency, I think, yes, he has his moments. But overall, he's just our most consistent attacking player. In terms of technical ability, in terms of being a threat, in terms of creativity, in terms of directness, I think Pulisic needs to play. Mason Mount, we already know. He didn't actually have a good cup final, Mason Mount. First half was alright. Second half just didn't really, really look good. Except for the chances he had on goal, which there weren't many. But for me, it wasn't his best game at all. I'm hoping he bounces back and comes back. And I feel like we just need his presence up top in order to try and defend from the front and hopefully win possession up the pitch rather than, feel the pressure at the back and put ourselves under threat to concede. I think Mason Mount plays a big part for that. And if it wasn't for the Kasper Schmeichel save in the final, Mason Mount, I think, would have scored. He gives something up top in terms of even goal-creating opportunities and taking shots on goal himself. So for me, those 2 together are the best that we have and the best that we can go with. Now, up front is where I've made another change. I'm very, very sorry. But that performance against Leicester has just made me go no. I just cannot rely on Timo Werner when the going gets tough now. We need goals. It's as simple that we need to score. The chances Timo Werner had and the shots that he took were absolutely abysmal. That's not taking anything away of what he provides on the pitch. But I'm sorry. We need a player that's going to receive the ball and provide a threat. A legit threat in scoring goals, putting the ball in the net. Timo Werner is just not doing that. And we need to win tomorrow. Simple. We need to win. We need to win against Villa. We need to win the Champions League final. Simple as that. So for me, I'm going to go to the one man that we play up top that I think has the least amount of concern in terms of his attributes. I'm going to go with Kai Havertz. Kai Havertz, in terms of his physical nature, yes, he needs to work on it. In terms of really holding his presence well. In terms of, holding up the ball. In terms of being able to physically compete with big centre-backs. Havertz needs to work on that. He needs to hit the gym a little bit. But in terms of ability, in terms of his work on the ball, in terms of him being able to put the ball in the net, I feel more convinced with Havertz than I do with Werner. And right now, we need that. In terms of Olivier Giroud, I feel like he's not as adaptable as a Kai Havertz, for example, who can play against a high line. Whereas Giroud can't, because you just know he just doesn't have the speed in his game to be able to keep up. I think if you're playing against a low block, you stick Giroud in there, cool, but there's a chance he might even get isolated. Havertz has the ability to come deep, retrieve the ball, link up, and move along with the play as well. Havertz offers that. The one thing to his game that I think Giroud is better than Havertz is his physical nature. But I'm willing to sacrifice that a little bit if he can just work on the ball. Work on the ball. Use your ability. Use your speed. Use your initiative. Use your instinct. And please put the ball in the net. Please, Kai. Much appreciated. Some would say Tammy Abraham. I'm just being realistic. Tammy's not in the squad. As far as I'm concerned. He's just not going to be in the squad. Tammy's leaving Chelsea as far as I'm concerned. And I think Tuchel's made his mind up. So I'm not going to try and even entertain, Tammy coming. No, it's not happening. So I'm going to be realistic and just go with the players that I know Tuchel is going to have at his disposal. For me, the best up top in terms of the options we have is Kai Havertz. And that would be my starting 11. Now, in terms of a score prediction, I'm going to be honest, I'm worried. I'm actually worried. I don't know. I'd like to think the players have it in them. Especially at home. There's going to be 8,000 Chelsea fans at Stamford Bridge tomorrow. And I want to hear them, and I think we will. I don't know which fans showed up to Wembley. But tomorrow we're going to have Matthew Harding. We're going to have Shed Ends. Those are the two ends that we normally have, the vocal lot in. I'm quite sure we're going to hear them tomorrow. Fingers crossed. So I want them to be loud. But the fact that, it's a big occasion. We have to win. I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure if the players really, really can dig deep and get a result against the team that just beat them in a cup final a couple of days ago. I'd like to think they do, but I'm a bit concerned. So I'm going to be honest and real with you. My score prediction is Chelsea 1, Leicester 1. A draw, and that's a bad result. It's a bad result. We have to win. So my final message is to Thomas Tuchel, to the players, prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. Please prove me wrong. Get 3 points and we can begin to start feeling a bit optimistic going into the Champions League final. Please. We cannot just let our season crumble now when it matters the most. We need players and manager to step up. I want players to be able to feel like they can really go for it, that they can take the risks, that they have it in them, that they can dig deep, that they can claw out a result. I want Tuchel to have the faith in the players, to tell them to really go and press and take the game to Leicester. We have nothing to lose. We need to win. Go out there and get 3 points. I want to see that happen tomorrow. So fingers crossed they get the job done. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. How do you think it's going to end? What are your predictions in terms of lineup, in terms of score? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you are new. Hit that notification bell to be notified once I've uploaded. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this video. And make sure to catch me on the watch along tomorrow. Chelsea versus Leicester at Stamford Bridge. It's going to be a huge, huge game. I'm nervous. I'm very nervous. So I'll see you guys on the watch along. Thank you so much for watching. See you tomorrow. Have a good one. Look after yourselves. Take care. And peace.